Hi everybody, and welcome to today's assembly. I hope you and your families are all well, and whether you're in school or whether you're at home, that you're getting on with learning well and making progress within that. The people at home, fantastic effort in the remote learning. Many of you are doing a really great job. I hear from all the teachers, and lots of people are engaging. In fact, most people across the school who are at home having to do their remote learning are doing it, which is really, really good to make sure that everybody keeps up to speed with the learning that we need to do as we move through the year. So well done to everybody for doing that, and well done mums and dads for helping and supporting with it as well. I know it's not easy, and you're doing a great job, so thank you for that. I'm going to share my screen with you. This week's assembly is focusing on one of our school values, and the school value that we're looking at this week, or this half term, is confidence. We talked about it last week, and I talked about Danny McCaskill, and I'm afraid I can only apologise that the music didn't work as well as it should have on the film clips that I put in. But hopefully you got the idea about Danny McCaskill and how he had become so confident in his riding abilities and able to do all those tricks and skills. So this week we're still thinking about confidence, and I'm going to share with you a story about something that happened to me when I was much younger, when I was around 10 or 11 years old, and confidence played a big part in something that I did and took part in. So when I was 10 and 11 years old, like some of you, I went to clubs, and then I ended up going into Scouts. And Scouts for us was a great thing to be doing. Every week we would meet with friends and everybody that was in our Scout troop, and we'd have fun playing games and doing lots of different things as well, lots of learning about different things. So we learned how to light fires safely and how to take care. We learned how to read maps, which was a skill that I still use a lot today. We learned how to make shelters, put tents up. We learned how to cook on cooking camping stoves. So we did lots of things, and we practiced them on those Thursday nights when we went to our Scout group. And we practiced the map reading, we practiced putting tents up, we practiced that cooking. And each year we would enter a competition, which was a little bit like the 10 Tours. It was called the Peak Assault, and it was like the 10 Tours because it involved a lot of walking, a lot of map reading, and as a team you had to walk between each checkpoint trying to find each checkpoint, and when you got there you had to clip on the checkpoint and on to the next one. And over a weekend you'd camp out one night, you'd have to try and go to as many checkpoints as possible. Well, for us, when we took part in the Peak Assault, what it meant was on a Friday night we would have packed our rucksacks and all the things we needed for camping and our trip. We would get on a train, we wouldn't know where we were going, and we would travel to somewhere in the country. Somewhere out like Dartmoor, like in the North Yorkshire Moors or Cumbria, where there was lots and lots of countryside. And when we got off the train, we would walk to wherever the campsite was. It would be dark, and we'd have our torches on, we'd have to set up our tent, we'd get in our sleeping bags and sleep that night, get up early the next morning, pack everything, cook breakfast first, pack everything away, and then we would go to the start of the competition. And at the start of the competition, the people who were running it would check all our bags to make sure we've got everything we needed to keep ourselves safe. We'd then be given a map, and on the map would be lots of checkpoints. And we had to plan a route to try and walk to as many checkpoints as possible within the time that we got. So we'd also have to use a compass as well to help us with the map to try and make sure that we're walking in the right direction. And the checkpoints that we were looking for looked a bit like this. They were very small, little metal pegs with a bit of red paint on them so we could see them. But when you were walking in somewhere like this, they were very, very difficult to find. So you had to be good at map reading and you had to be good at walking. And we had to then set off, plan our route and make sure that we were doing our best job as we could walking together as a team. And we were quite confident, the teams that I was in, because we were quite good at map reading. We were confident we could find our way around. We were confident that we could use a map and we could plan a route. And we were quite confident that we were all very fit because we'd done lots of running practice, jogging to keep ourselves fit. So when we came to do the competition, we knew that we would, although we would get tired, we would be able to manage it really well. So that was it. Off we went. We had to see how many checkpoints we could collect. And after the end of the first day, I remember getting to the camping site where we were spending the first night. And there were some people there already. Their tents were up and they were busy cooking their food. And we arrived exhausted, tired and wet. All we really wanted was somebody to have cooked us some food. That wasn't going to happen. We had to cook our own. So we put up our tents together, working as a team. We could do that again because we practiced it. We were confident that we could do it and we got the tents up in no time at all. We set our sleeping bags out and set the tents up well. We got the cooking stove out, the pots and pans ready to do the cooking and the tins of food that we had. And that was where the first problem was. Because we looked at the tins, we had the stoves lit, we had our saucepans ready, we had our tins in our hand, but nobody had remembered to bring the tin opener. So what were we going to do? There we were, hungry, wet, tired. We had everything we needed except a tin opener. Well, we started with the first tin. Somebody said, well, let's just try and hit it with a stone or with a rock and we can try and smash the top of it open and then we can pour the baked beans and sausages into the pan. So that's what somebody did. They tried smashing them with a rock. All that happened was the tin got more and more dented and it was more and more of a mess. It wasn't going to open. Somebody else came up with the idea, well, why don't we take one of our tent pegs and try and push that in really hard to the tin and then we can maybe wiggle it around, open it up just enough to get the tin out. Well, we tried that. The tent peg broke, bent, and then it broke. It still didn't work. And we carried on trying some different ideas. All that happened was the tin ended up getting more squashed and more damaged. And whatever was inside it, and I think it was sausages and beans, was getting more and more squashed as well. It wasn't until that point that then I thought, I know what we'll do. I'm going to ask one of the other people who's in the competition, who'd set their tent up, who were camping near us, if we could borrow a tin opener from them, if they've got one. Well, the rest of the team said, no, you can't do that. We can't ask them. They'll think we're rubbish. They'll think like we don't know what we're doing. They'll think, well, how on earth could you forget such an important thing? But that's what I did. I went over to the people who were camping closest to us and asked, they were busy cooking their food, and asked, have you got a tin opener that we can borrow? And they very kindly lent us a tin opener. We could open all the other tins. In it went into the saucepan. It wasn't very long before it was cooked and warmed up, and we were eating it, and everybody felt better. So I think when we think back to our confidence and our posters that talk about confidence, I think we had become very confident in what we were doing. As a team, we were working well together. We could read maps because we practiced it. We were fit enough because we'd been training to keep fit with jogging. And the last bullet point on our confidence poster talked about knowing when to get support from others, when to ask for it. And that's, I think, what I did at that time, was go to ask those people, could I borrow your tin opener? And we solved our problem. So hopefully you'll be able to think about how confident you are with all of our things on our confidence poster. And you'll be able to talk to somebody, whether you're in class or at home, about which bits of being confident you might want to get better at and which bits you're good at already. Have a great week, everybody, and I'll look forward to catching up with you soon.